Do you ever start things without finishing them? If so, I know how it feels. Throughout my life, I've started a lot of things that never got finished. I'd start out on something exciting, a new project or hobby, only to move on to something even more exciting. Or I'd just have too much on my plate, get overwhelmed, and inevitably drop some balls. What always felt the worst, though, was when no particular decision was made. Not finishing, but also not making a conscious choice to let it go. Just letting it gradually fade into the darkness, soon to be forgotten.
The good news is that there is hope. Over the last 5 years, I've managed to get a lot better at finishing the things I start.
I've written a book, built companies, launched podcasts, and more. And if you struggle with this as well, you can too.
You are not broken. You just need to make a few small changes in the way that you approach the things you start.
Trust me, if this shiny thing chaser can get his act together, so can you. Here are some of the reasons things don't get finished. The first thing is it's not on your schedule. While the most important things get time slots on our calendars, the small things often do not. But everything we do takes time. We often forget about the small things we need to do and transitions between tasks that make everything else possible.
Anything that takes time, energy, and attention is a project. Taking out the trash, project, right? Cleaning out the closet of doom that you're not getting to, project. Everything's a project. When you realize that, a lot of people are like, wait a second. I've got a lot of projects going on right now. Yes, you do.
It's likely you have much more going on than you think you do.
Whenever you start something, map out the time that it will take to finish it on your calendar.
Whether it's practicing the guitar you bought or writing the book you've been thinking of, lay out the time and space for it to actually get done. Second, you may have started too big, too fast.
Just like building an effective habit, getting bigger things done requires consistent, sustainable effort. What often happens is we go in too deep, too fast, and then get stuck or overwhelmed.
And once we hit that point, the chances of returning to it diminish substantially.
Start smaller, test the waters, and learn as you go.
The less overwhelming it is, the more likely you are to finish each small step along the way and keep coming back until it's done.
Number 3, you're starting too many things. This was my biggest issue. The fact is, it's really easy to get excited about a new idea, and I'd immediately want to pursue it, even though I barely had time to complete what I already had taken on.
Realize that we don't do ideas. We do projects. It seems simple, but when we think of how many times we latch on to an idea and then get frustrated because we're not doing anything with that idea, we don't know what to do with the idea. Well, you're not going to do anything with the idea. The only way you're going to do that idea is if you convert it into a project. As creative people, our reach will always exceed our grasp. We'll always be trying more than we'll ever be able to do. And knowing that sort of human flaw, the best that we can do is try to commit to fewer things because we know that naturally we're going to overreach. So we pull it down to a place where we can actually start to get some things done.
This doesn't mean you have to only do one thing at a time, but it does mean you need to be a little bit more intentional about balancing too many and too few in a realistic way.
Before you start something new, make a list of all your current projects, activities, and goals to take a bird's eye view. If you need to wait until you finish some existing projects, that's fine.
Alternately, you can decide what you'd like to let go of to make space for the new project. But remember,
everything's a project.
Finally, you don't believe you're a finisher. If you've had a pattern of jumping around from thing to thing, you might have developed a belief that you're simply not a finisher. Your fate is sealed. Not only is that mentality not helping you, but it's certainly not true.
Because when you have that story that you're uniquely defective and you're like continually wired to not be able to get your shit together, or you're always behind, or you're not a planner, or you're not a finisher, you probably actually are a finisher in some different things. You're just not finishing the things that you're counting.
Even if it's hard, start out with the belief that you are a finisher and begin recognizing all the things you're finishing every single day, small and large. A change in mentality can absolutely help change your actions. So say it with me now.
I am a finisher. My friend Charlie is the author of Start Finishing, How to Go From Idea to Done, and offers even more great advice in the podcast episode we recorded together on the BTT Podcast. Links in the description, of course. New episodes are coming out every Thursday for the next few months, so make sure you subscribe in your favorite podcast player. Just search for Break the Twitch.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe here on YouTube for more.